Imagine walking into a company where every employee is the smartest person you've ever met. Most people are still arguing about which chatbot is better, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, or Grok. Meanwhile, the companies building the next generation of AI have already moved on to a completely different question. Not, which model is smartest, but, what happens when thousands of AI agents work together like an organization? That question is changing everything, because here's the uncomfortable truth. Today's AI assistants are incredibly intelligent, but they're terrible employees. They forget, they repeat work, they can't easily collaborate, and they spend an unbelievable amount of time reinventing what they already solved yesterday. That isn't just inefficient, it's incredibly expensive, and it's exactly why researchers are racing towards something much bigger than a single AI model. They're building networks of AI. They're building AI organizations. They're building agentic meshes. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Microsoft, Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, Salesforce, and dozens of startups are investing heavily in multi-agent systems, and why many researchers believe this is the next major evolution of AI infrastructure. Let's start with a simple question. If ChatGPT is so powerful, why isn't it running entire companies already? The answer isn't intelligence, it's architecture. Think about your favorite AI assistant. You ask it a question, it gives an answer. Maybe it writes code, maybe it summarizes a document, maybe it helps plan a vacation. Then you close the window. Tomorrow, it starts over. Imagine hiring the world's greatest engineer. Every morning before writing a single line of code, they ask, what project are we working on? What did we build yesterday? Who's on the team? What decisions have already been made? Now imagine paying them to reread the entire company documentation every single morning before they can begin working. You'd fire that employee immediately. Yet that's exactly how many AI systems operate today. Even with improvements in memory, context windows, and retrieval systems, most AI workflows still require repeatedly loading context, rediscovering information, or depending on external orchestration to coordinate complex tasks. The problem becomes even worse when the task gets complicated. Let's say you're launching a new software product. One AI writes the back end, another generates the front end, a third writes documentation, a fourth designs the logo, a fifth performs security analysis, a sixth researches competitors. Now imagine every one of those agents knows nothing about what the others are doing. They duplicate work, overwrite each other's files, use different assumptions, forget previous decisions, produce conflicting outputs, and every time one finishes, another has to reread thousands of lines of context just to understand what happened. Sound familiar? Because that's exactly where many AI workflows break down today. The issue isn't that the models are incapable. The issue is that they're working like brilliant strangers who have never met. Now compare that to how humans work inside successful companies. A software engineer doesn't personally answer customer support tickets. The finance department doesn't design the company website. The legal team doesn't optimize cloud infrastructure. Everyone specializes. Everyone shares information. Everyone communicates. Everyone remembers previous decisions. Everyone contributes toward the same goal. Organizations outperform individuals not because one person is smarter, but because collaboration multiplies intelligence. That's the insight driving the next generation of AI. Researchers increasingly describe intelligence as something that can emerge from coordinated systems, where specialized agents communicate, delegate, and solve problems collectively, rather than relying on one giant model to do everything. This is where Agentic Mesh enters the picture. Instead of building one AI that tries to do every job, you build hundreds, maybe thousands. Each one specializes in something different. Some write code, some validate code, some plan, some negotiate, some search databases, some analyze documents, some monitor security, some schedule meetings, some remember long-term project history. Instead of waiting for one superintelligence, you create an intelligent workforce. And just like a real workforce, these agents communicate with each other, request help when needed, hand tasks to specialists, verify one another's work, and continuously update shared knowledge. That sounds simple, but it changes almost everything about how software gets built. And in the next part, we'll explore exactly how an agentic mesh works under the hood, including the communication protocols, shared memory, orchestration layers, and why many believe this architecture could become the foundation of enterprise AI over the next decade. NOS Agentic Mesh, how AI agents will build, collaborate, and execute like a company. Part 2. The biggest mistake people make when they hear AI agents is imagining a smarter chatbot. They imagine typing, "Build me an app," and an AI magically creates everything. But that isn't where the future is heading. The real breakthrough is not one AI becoming better. The breakthrough is many AI systems becoming connected, because intelligence becomes dramatically more powerful when agents can communicate, specialize, and coordinate. That is the core idea behind an agentic mesh. Think of it as the internet for AI workers, the internet-connected computers, cloud computing connected infrastructure. The agentic mesh connects intelligent agents. Instead of isolated AI assistants living inside separate apps, you get a living ecosystem where agents can discover capabilities, exchange information, delegate tasks, and work together toward a shared objective. So how does this actually work? An agentic mesh usually has 4 major layers. Layer 1, specialized AI agents. The first layer is the workforce. Every agent has a specific purpose: a research agent, a coding agent, a testing agent, a financial analysis agent, a customer support agent, a security agent, a planning agent. The idea is simple. Don't force one AI to be average at everything. Create specialized agents that are exceptional at one thing. This mirrors how humans organize companies. You don't hire one person to be the CEO, accountant, engineer, lawyer, and salesperson. You create departments. AI is moving toward the same structure. For example, a software development company might have product manager agent, understands customer needs architecture agent, designs the system coding agent, writes implementation security agent, searches for vulnerabilities testing agent, breaks the application documentation agent, creates manuals instead of one AI generating code and hoping it works. You have a team of AI agents reviewing, improving, and challenging each other. The result? A system that behaves less like a chatbot and more like an engineering organization. Layer 2. Agent communication. The second challenge is communication. A company with brilliant employees fails if nobody talks to each other. The same applies to AI agents. Imagine 5 AI agents working on a project. The coding agent updates the database structure. The documentation agent doesn't know. The testing agent uses outdated assumptions. The security agent checks the wrong architecture. The project collapses. Agentic Mesh solves this by creating communication standards. One important development is the rise of protocols that allow AI systems to exchange context and capabilities. For example, the Model Context Protocol allows AI models to connect with external tools, data sources, and systems in a standardized way. Instead of every AI application building custom integrations from scratch, agents can communicate with the tools they need. Think of MCP like a universal adapter for AI. Before USB-C, every device needed a different cable. Now imagine every AI system needing a different integration. That's today's problem. Protocols like MCP are trying to create the equivalent of USB-C for AI. Layer 3, shared memory. This might be the most important piece. Because intelligence without memory is limited. A human employee becomes valuable because they accumulate knowledge. They remember previous decisions, customer preferences, past mistakes, company strategy, important relationships. AI agents need the same capability. A powerful agentic mesh requires shared memory systems, not just storing conversations, actual organizational memory. For example, a marketing agent learns, customers respond better to shorter headlines. A product agent learns, users struggle with onboarding. A sales agent learns, enterprise customers care more about security than price. That knowledge becomes available to other agents. The company gets smarter over time. The AI workforce develops institutional knowledge. This is one reason memory systems are becoming a major area of AI research. The future isn't just smarter models, it's AI systems that remember, learn, and improve. Layer 4, orchestration and decision-making. Now comes the hardest part. Who decides what happens next? When 10 agents are working together, someone needs to coordinate. This is the orchestration layer. Think of it as the AI project manager. A user gives a goal. Create a marketing campaign for our new product. The orchestrator breaks the goal into tasks. Research agent, analyze competitors. Creative agent, generate messaging. Design agent, create visual concepts. SEO agent, find keywords. Analytics agent, predict performance. The orchestrator monitors progress, handles conflicts, and redirects resources. But here's where it gets interesting. In the future, agents may not always wait for instructions. They may proactively create workflows. A security agent notices a vulnerability. It contacts a coding agent. The coding agent creates a patch. A testing agent validates it. A compliance agent approves it. All without a human manually coordinating every step. That is the difference between automation and autonomy. Answer. Real-world examples. Agentic Mesh is already emerging. This isn't just a theoretical concept. Major technology companies are moving toward agent ecosystems. Microsoft, AI agents. Inside the enterprise, Microsoft has been pushing the idea of enterprise agents through platforms like Copilot Studio, where organizations can create specialized AI agents connected to business data and workflows. Imagine a company where HR agents handle employee questions, sales agents analyze customers, finance agents prepare reports, IT agents troubleshoot problems. Instead of employees searching through hundreds of systems, agents become the interface to the company. The goal is not replacing every worker, it's creating an AI layer across the organization. Google, agents that use tools and collaborate. Google has been investing heavily in agent frameworks and models designed to reason, use tools, and complete multi-step tasks. The important shift is moving from answer this question to complete this objective. A chatbot gives information, an agent takes action, a network of agents completes missions. Salesforce, AI agents for business operations. Customer relationship management is another obvious area. Imagine a sales organization where a customer agent answers questions, a research agent studies the account, a sales agent prepares recommendations, a forecasting agent predicts revenue, a service agent handles problems. Instead of employees switching between dozens of dashboards, agents coordinate the workflow. Software development, the first major battlefield. One of the biggest areas where Agentic Mesh is already appearing is coding. Modern AI coding systems are moving beyond autocomplete. They can understand entire repositories, create implementation plans, write code, run tests, debug errors, review changes. The future software team may look very different. One human developer could manage dozens of AI coding specialists. The developer becomes less of a typist and more of an architect. But here's the part most people underestimate. The biggest change isn't that AI agents become better at tasks. The biggest change is that tasks themselves become connected. Today, you ask AI. AI answers. Tomorrow, you give AI a goal. A network of agents plans, executes, checks, improves, and reports back. That is the beginning of a completely different computing model. The computer stops being a tool you operate, it becomes a system you manage. But this raises the biggest question. If thousands of AI agents can communicate and act independently, who controls them? How do we prevent mistakes? How do we create trust? And could this new AI workforce eventually become more powerful than the organizations building it? That's where the future, and the biggest risks, begin. Agentic Mesh, the AI workforce that could replace software as we know it. Part 3. The biggest technology shifts in history usually don't happen because a single invention becomes better. They happen because separate inventions connect. The internet was not just computers, it was computers connected together. The smartphone was not just a phone, it was hardware, software, sensors, and networks combined. And Agentic Mesh could represent the same kind of shift for artificial intelligence. Because the future of AI may not be one giant model answering every question. The future may be millions of specialized AI agents working together, a network of intelligence, a digital workforce, an AI organization. But what does this actually mean for businesses, developers, and everyday people? Let's look at where this is heading. The future of software development. One of the first industries that could be transformed by Agentic Mesh is software engineering. Today, building software requires many specialized roles. Product managers define requirements, architects design systems, developers write code, security engineers review vulnerabilities, QA engineers test applications, DevOps teams deploy infrastructure. The process is powerful, but slow. The future could look completely different. Imagine telling an AI system, build a healthcare scheduling platform for small clinics. Instead of generating a few lines of code, the system creates a team. A product agent researches user needs. An architecture agent designs the system. A coding agent builds features. A security agent checks compliance. A testing agent attacks the application. A deployment agent launches it. A monitoring agent watches performance. The human developer doesn't disappear. The role changes. Instead of writing every instruction manually, developers become system architects, AI managers, quality controllers, strategic decision makers. The programmer of the future may spend less time writing code and more time designing intelligent systems. The rise of the AI company. Now imagine taking this beyond software. Imagine an entire company powered by an agentic mesh. A customer places an order, a sales agent handles communication, a marketing agent creates campaigns, a finance agent manages forecasting, a supply chain agent optimizes inventory, a legal agent reviews contracts, a customer support agent solves problems, a leadership agent analyzes performance. This does not mean companies become fully autonomous overnight. Humans will still make strategic decisions, but the amount of work AI can coordinate will increase dramatically. A small team could potentially operate like a much larger organization. A startup with 5 humans might have hundreds of AI specialists working alongside them. This changes the economics of building companies. The advantage may no longer belong only to companies with the most employees. It may belong to companies with the best AI systems. The new competitive advantage: AI coordination. For decades, companies competed based on talent, capital, technology, data. The next competitive advantage may be, how effectively can you coordinate intelligent machines? 2 companies might use the same AI models, but the winner may be the company with better agent architecture, better memory systems, better workflows, better human-AI collaboration. The model is only the brain, the agentic mesh is the entire nervous system, but there is a problem. The more powerful these systems become, the bigger the challenges, because giving AI agents the ability to act creates new risks. Imagine an AI sales agent making incorrect promises, a coding agent introducing security vulnerabilities, a finance agent making a bad investment decision, a customer support agent exposing private information. When AI only generates text, mistakes are annoying. When AI can take actions, mistakes become expensive. This is why the next generation of AI will require governance. Organizations need rules defining what agents can access, what actions require approval, who is responsible for decisions. Security. AI agents will become new attack surfaces. Companies will need protection against prompt injection attacks, data leakage, unauthorized actions, malicious agents, human oversight. The goal is not removing humans. The goal is creating systems where humans control strategy while AI handles complexity. The best future is not humans versus AI, it is humans amplified by AI. The biggest shift: from apps to agents. For the last 20 years, we interacted with software through applications. Open an app, click buttons, fill forms, navigate menus. But Agentic Mesh points toward a different future. You won't ask, which app should I use? You'll ask, what outcome do I want? And AI systems will figure out the rest. Need a business plan? Agents collaborate. Need a legal analysis? Agents collaborate. Need a new product? Agents collaborate. The interface changes from applications to outcomes. The computer becomes less like a calculator and more like a digital organization. The million-dollar question: will Agentic Mesh create a world where humans become unnecessary? Probably not, but it will create a world where humans who understand AI systems have an enormous advantage. The biggest winners won't simply be people who know how to use AI, they will be people who know how to build, manage, and orchestrate AI ecosystems. The next generation of leaders may not manage employees only, they may manage teams of humans and AI agents working together. The future workplace may not be human versus machine, it may be human plus machine. And the companies that understand this early will have a massive advantage, because the race is no longer who has the smartest AI, the race is who can build the smartest AI organization. That is the promise of Agentic Mesh, a future where intelligence is not trapped inside one model. It flows, it collaborates, it scales, and it becomes something much bigger than a chatbot.